skin of her size, a trap between the thighs. Bitches be cray cray, she cray that she looking as pretty cray. Extra, extra, read all about it. Crazy bitch news, crazy bitch news, crazy bitch news, crazy bitch news. It's all in lies, somewhere between the lies. The shrinking of her size, a trap between her thighs. Bitches be cray cray, she cray that she looking as pretty cray. Extra, extra, read all about it. Crazy bitch news, crazy bitch news, crazy bitch news. And great, crazy bitch news.
Or there isn't. What the hell? Why is it so dark here? Anyway, whatever. So there we go. Another little edition of Crazy Bitch News, because in the glut of stories that I collected, there's a lot of those. So I'm kind of knock these out of the way before I move on to something else. You know, on the overall Nailsin agenda. Yeah. So let's get to it. First, the worst of them all, I guess. Well, maybe there's some worse. I don't know. But it's pretty awful. Depressed mom of perfect family massacres husband and kids in horrific New Hampshire murder-suicide just days after posting grim TikTok. So there we are. She's depressed, so she fatally shot her husband and 2 young children before turning the gun on herself in their New Hampshire home, just days after sharing her ongoing struggles in a chilling video on social media. Emily Long, 34, who was found with a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head, allegedly killed her husband, Ryan Long, 48, and 2 children, Parker, 8, and Ryan, 6, in an apparent murder-suicide at their Mayberry home early Monday. Both youngsters were shot in the... oh, God. While the family's patriarch reportedly was battling terminal cancer, sustained multiple gunshot wounds. Well, I guess this is a still from her TikTok. Making a change. It was a perfect family as far as we know, neighbor Bevy Cattell said. It's just shocking. We didn't see it coming. Police discovered the grisly scene Monday night after receiving a haunting 911 call reporting multiple deaths inside the family's manicured home. A gun was located near the bodies. The couple's 3-year-old child, the lone survivor of the slaughter, was found alive and unharmed inside the house and is now in the care of family members. Investigators say they have since learned of serious concerns and ongoing issues at the time of the violent rampage, but didn't elaborate. One of the biggest questions that they have right now is motive. Why? Said Assistant Attorney General Ben Agati. So there's the home. Yeah. Everything looks nice and pleasant. And I think that's probably one of the more difficult things that they are trying to grasp to understand how this came to be. While the motive remains unclear, the family's matriarch, who worked as director of operations at the restaurant chain Wing It's, often posted on social media about her struggles and despair as she coped with her husband's terminal cancer diagnosis. Ryan, a school psychologist at Oyster River Middle School in Durham, was reportedly diagnosed with glioblastoma, a highly aggressive form of brain cancer. In a TikTok posted just days before police made the horrific discovery, Emily told her nearly 8,000 followers that her children were definitely struggling and she herself had been really depressed as she tried to restore healthy habits and normalcy in the home as her husband's health declined. I am determined to create normalcy, she said in her grim video. I have been struggling so much and really depressed and just have really become reclusive and just wanted to be with my kids and my husband. That being said, I'm making a change and it is starting today. And I'm making a point to get out of my depression and do this for my family. Yeah, so your husband has a terminal illness and is going to die, and you're so depressed you decide to take everybody out, including yourself. Um, yeah, this was just too bad. This was just never mind. God, it was awful. Not enough details to go into, is this a case of making it all about her and everything? Because, I mean, it's just, good Lord, lady. Yeah, he's the one dying. And they got some cases where it's like people, and sometimes they'll agree to this, of, angel of mercy type thing. But that's not the case here, especially with the kids. So, well, she was depressed. She was going through this. Yeah, lots of people do that. I mean, this sort of situation occurs, and it's very hard. It's horrible. But sorry, but this was just evil. A. Thompson, Doug, please more Alien comics. Well, I wish I had some more. That might have been a better thing to do. I only glance. Once again, I need to, do more than just glance at these. But yeah, this one. But hey, we'll move on to a school teacher. Those always turn out well, don't they? Award-winning high school counselor allegedly sexually assaulted female student over 100 times at sleepovers. That's one of those things, people say, we slept together, but you didn't really sleep at all. A one-time Colorado Counselor of the Year is accused of sexually assaulting a female student over several years and threatened to kill herself if the girl ever came forward. Cassandra Ponslow, 40, met her accuser in her high school counseling office in the Poudre School District in Fort Collins, Colorado, and later began bringing her to her home for sleepovers. The student, who is now an adult, met with police in July and claimed she was assaulted more than 100 times over several years at Ponslow's home. She looked surprised. Police did not say exactly when the alleged assaults occurred, but Ponslow worked for the Skew District from 2007 to 2024. The student told police she felt like she wanted to die after the alleged sexual assault, but claimed Ponslow told her, "If you tell anyone, I'll kill myself." Well, Ponslow, who has since become sober, later expressed shame, claiming she fell in love with the student while accepting that it was not okay. Well, there you go. Everything's solved now. Lack of boundary, not okay. The power difference, not okay. It was wrong, she allegedly said. Ponslow was named Colorado's 2016 Counselor of the Year by the Colorado School Counseling Association and was a finalist for the American School Counselor of the Year Award in 2018. Wow. So much for those awards. She was arrested and is charged with sexual assault on a child by one in a position of trust, criminal attempt to commit sexual exploitation of children, and aggravated sexual assault on a client by a psychotherapist. Well, definitely psycho. Anyway, she's being held at the Larimer County Jail on $500,000 cash only bond. A Poudre school district spokesman told CBS News the allegations are deeply troubling and said the district has cooperated with police as they continue to investigate. The Colorado Department of Human Services was first tipped off about the allegations in 2023, but when it contacted the alleged victim, she denied there was anything sexual about the relationship. The case was closed until the former student agreed to come forward last month. Ponslow's LinkedIn profile shows she worked as a part-time counselor and engagement specialist from 2011 to 2024. Her last job was listed as a full-time freshman counselor at the Center for High School Success. She was immediately placed on leave hours after her arrest, the school said. On leave, yeah. Well, yep. You can tell by her mugshot that this is indeed the picture of a psycho therapist. And of course, you understand that when you split up the word therapist, it spells out the rapist. Yeah. I learned that from Conti and Kenny. Okay. Aton said, not hot teacher. No, I couldn't find one of those. Yeah, that's too bad. A 4 out of 10. 3. Anyway, the title does say murder for hire, doesn't it? I think I put that in there. So let's get to the murder for hire. Yeah, there is a murder for hire story. It does sound familiar, so I think I probably looked at this before, but you know, the details are progressing as life goes on, yeah. Ex-wife who hired murder squad to kill celebrity doctor was full of outright greed. Yeah, this is not the wife. Yeah. The wife of a slain California doctor is suing his former wife after she allegedly hired a hitman to shoot him dead outside his treatment facility, where he reportedly helped celebrities and athletes overcome addiction. Authorities say 53-year-old Ahang Mershoje organized a posse to gun down her ex-husband, Dr. Hamid Mershoje, 61, in an ambush-style murder in August 2024 outside his Los Angeles clinic. Now, the doctor's wife, Ghazal Samor, I guess, is suing Ahang Mershojay and others involved in the alleged plot in a wrongful death lawsuit. Ahang Mershojay divorced the victim around 2010. Samorg married her doctor husband in diddy-diddy-doo, and they have a young daughter together. Over the ensuing years, subsequent to defendant Ahang's divorce from Hamid, defendant Ahang engaged in a pattern of harassment, intimidation, and aggression toward Hamid, the doctor, driven largely by avarice and vengeance. Smorg alleges the defendant consistently demanded money from the doctor due to a combination of her own reckless spending, inability to manage her finances, and outright greed. She was extremely jealous that her ex-husband had gotten remarried and fathered another child, and wanted to destroy the plaintiff's lives. The ex-wife began to contrive a scheme to have him killed for financial gain. She cobbled together a gang of individuals, including Evan Hardman, 41, Ashley Rose Sweeting, 41, Sarala Jawed, 27, and Sean Randolph, 46, to help her carry out the plan. Smorg alleges the murder was the result of weeks of meticulous planning by Ahang and Hardman, who enlisted the help of Sweeting, Jawed, and Randolph. Los Angeles County District Attorney Nathan Hochman announced the filing of charges against the suspects in December. She's been charged with, effectively, hiring a hitman, Hochman said. Ahang Mershojay is charged with murder and assault with a deadly weapon. According to Hochman, the ex-wife hired, you're just repeating the story, the hard man to sneak up behind the doctor as he left his Woodland Hills practice on August 23rd, 2024, and shoot him in the back of the head before a getaway driver, Sweeting, helped him flee the scene. Jawed drove Hardman to Texas after the murder. The horror and betrayal of this crime are beyond words, Hochman said. The depth of the deceit and violence involved in this case is chilling, and we will not rest until justice is served. Hardman is accused of intentionally killing the victim by lying in wait. Sweeting, who is charged with accessory after the fact, allegedly drove Hardman to and from the scene. Hardman and Sweeting waited until Hamid walked out of his office around 5:30 p.m., and the alleged gunman carried out the murder as he was entering his car. Hochman has also revealed that Ahang allegedly hired Hardman and Jawed to attack her ex-husband on May 3rd, 2024, and beat him with a blunt object, reportedly a baseball bat. Dr. Mershojay and his ex-wife have had a decade-long legal battle over their divorce. Revelations of the doctor's ex-wife allegedly orchestrating the murder have left his family stunned. Immediately, I start thinking about my nephews and nieces. Their father was killed, and now their mother was the cause. I still can't digest it. I don't understand. Taking someone's life, it's beyond me, his younger brother, Areza Mahoshe, said. It's like I can't understand how could somebody feel so much anger and resentment, and I don't understand how someone would feel to do something like this. Officers arrested Hardman in the Houston area and Sweeting in the San Fernando Valley in December. According to his biography on his website, Hamid worked in addiction medicine for over a decade and provided emergency care for 20 years. It said he treated celebrities, movie stars, athletes, and many people of different walks of life. He has helped thousands of patients achieve their goal of having a sober life. Well, the local affiliate reported the doctor hailed from Iran. Friends and former patients spoke highly of him. Everyone in the Woodlands area, even in LA, they know him because he was a really good doctor. Family friend Miriam Ali told KTLA in the aftermath of the shooting. Always laughing, always joking, always helping people. Former patient Pamia Mazari said, I don't know why bad things happen to people who are good in this world. Well, the reason this one happened is because, well, outright greed and jealousy, thanks to his sick, crazy bitch of an ex-wife. That's why it happened. A. Thompson says, Wikipedia, Alien Comics, there are too many. Do you have most of them? I really want to see those comics covered. No, I don't. You saw the one I have, the original. I know I got a, Batman versus Predator thing. I think that's about it. But I'd have to look through the files. Hey, Thompson, Timothy Oliphant is only credited in 4 episodes of Alien Earth. I think the rest of the season will be in space, unless there is some sort of mistake in the credits. Yeah, but isn't the space thing going to be kind of a flashback for the Maginot? And they probably jump back to the end. Because there's only 8 total, right? Something like that. And yeah, that'll be the deal. Perhaps the disruption will irritate quite a few people, but I don't know, he might fill out the story for what happened aboard Maginot. Mom forced husband and 4-year-old son to drown themselves in lake to prove their worthiness. Then tries to kill her older kids using golf cart. Okay. An Ohio mother is accused of commanding her husband and 4-year-old son to jump in a lake as part of an alleged spiritual delusion that left them both dead. The woman, who is a member of an Amish church, ordered them into the water because God was speaking to them and wanted the pair to prove their worthiness. The woman was supposedly hearing voices that she believed were God. They weren't. Tuscarawas County Sheriff Orvis Campbell said at a press conference that led her and her husband to go out and jump in the lake first. Police officials that have identified the victim as Marcus Miller, 45, and Vincent Miller, who is the couple's youngest son. They are waiting to publicly name the woman until she's formally charged, according to Campbell. Okay. She's also accused of crashing a golf cart into Atwood Lake with her 3 other children inside. Well, she only wants to get to that lake. The female suspect has allegedly confessed to investigators. She told them she commanded Marcus Miller to get in the lake, where he drowned, as part of a test from God. Miller initially believed he had failed the test because he didn't have enough faith, per Campbell. The woman allegedly demanded that Vincent, who also drowned in the lake, go in afterward as punishment. She believed that she and her husband had to pass these tests to show their faith. And when they didn't, then Vincent became the price to pay for that. What she says is that she and her husband went to this dock and they jumped in the water because God was speaking to them and telling them to do things to prove their worthiness to God, to show their faith is complete. And they didn't do very well in those. According to the sheriff, some of the tasks Marcus Miller was given were bizarre. Oh, you don't say. With many of them being swimming exercises. The woman allegedly told investigators that God asked her at one point to be swallowed by a fish. Okay, Marcus Miller's final test was swimming to a nearby sandbar. His wife claimed that they had gone home to their RV after the RV after the failed test before returning to the lake at around 5:30 a.m. to keep trying. Campbell said Marcus Miller hadn't been asleep after the failed test. Marcus Miller was last seen at the Atwood Lake dock at around 6:30 a.m., according to witnesses. His wife was allegedly spotted at around 8 a.m. driving very dangerously with Vincent in the area of the dock. She states that she went to the dock and that she threw the 4-year-old in because that's what she needed to do as an offering to God. The woman was then allegedly seen picking up her 15-year-old daughter and twin 18-year-old sons, whom she also made perform lake tasks. The children told cops that at one point she made them all lay down on the dock with their hands in the water to pray for their little brother and father because they were gone and had gone to heaven. She allegedly crashed the golf cart with them inside shortly after. She then heard the voice again, telling her to drive into the lake. After the crash, a witness offered help, but the woman refused. She suggested not to help her, just pray. That was the first statement that suggested this was more than an accident at the lake. There was a pretty immediate statement that made that she had given her son to the Lord. Police have described the Millers as members of the Old Order Amish Church and living in Holmes County. They were reportedly visiting Atwood Lake as part of a weekend trip, which Campbell says began like any vacation. I don't think it was a plan, the sheriff concluded. I believe that based off of detailed conversations with the family, that they were just going to the lake. Well, poor choice of phrasing there, but again, whatever she may have heard, it wasn't from God. Hit the like button. Yeah, good idea, Nodak. Everybody hit the like button. Well, let's see how this mother works out. 1-year-old plummets out of second-story window while mom leaves her 9-year-old in charge for a few minutes. That's a great haircut. An Iowa woman was arrested after her 1-year-old toddler fell out of her apartment's second-floor window while she was outside the home. Angelia Varner, 35, was released on personal recognizance after she was arrested and charged with 1 count of child neglect. According to a criminal complaint, Varner was accused of leaving her 3 young children alone on August 18th, while she went out to the parking lot of her apartment in Newton, Iowa. According to the complaint, Varner told police that she had left her 3 young children ages 23 months, 3 years old, and 9 years old by themselves for a few minutes while she went outside. She told police that she left her 9-year-old in charge of the younger children. Police stated that several neighbors saw the toddler fall while Varner was outside in the parking lot. The toddler had abrasions and bruising to her head after falling about 12 feet. Police said that when they went inside Varner's apartment, they saw that the window where the little girl fell had a significantly torn screen. The tear created an opening big enough to allow a small child to fall out. Varner allegedly told police that the screen had been torn for several months, and she knew it was open when she left the apartment that day. She explained that she was trying to cool the home. The apartment manager told police that Varner never requested that her window be fixed. According to the complaint, Varner's neighbors told police that they often saw the 3 children play at the open window and or lean out of it. The neighbors also said that they often allegedly saw the children unattended and playing outside without their mother around. Varner was arrested on one charge of child neglect and booked into the Jasper County Jail. But she's released and will appear in court. But, I mean, just judging on the mugshot, not entirely certain there's a completely sane environment here. But, don't judge a book by its cover. Thompson says he hit the like button. Well, there we go. See, there's progress. Moving right along. No, not that one. Oh, yeah, another mother. Well, let's see how mom does in this one. Mom upset over daughter missing bus caught striking the child with her car in parking lot. A 48-year-old mother in Tennessee has been arrested after she allegedly became so angry at her daughter for missing the bus that she struck the child with a car after dropping her off in the school parking lot. Misty Sue Coleman was taken into custody following the incident last week and charged with one count of aggravated child abuse or neglect. Neglect? I mean, the aggravated child abuse, yeah, with a car. Neglect? Anyway, according to a news release from the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office, the incident took place on the morning of Tuesday, August 19th at the Chattanooga Girls Leadership Academy. Gee, Pat, this is in Pat's neck of the woods. Chattanooga Girls Leadership Academy, which is located in the 1800 block of Bailey Avenue in Chattanooga. Hey, I've been there. Not the school, but Chattanooga. The school, which serves students from grades 6 to 12, is about 140 miles southeast of Nashville. That morning, the school resource deputy assigned to the academy responded to the school's administration office regarding a report of a student being struck by their mother's vehicle in the school parking lot. The school staff told investigators that Coleman's daughter, whose name and age were not disclosed, came into the principal's office that morning visibly upset and told administrators that her mother, whom she identified as Coleman, became angry after the child missed the school bus. While exiting the vehicle, the student stated the mother accelerated before the child was fully outside, striking the victim's right ankle and driving away from campus without stopping. Investigators were able to obtain surveillance footage from the school's parking lot, which they said corroborated the victim's account of what took place. The video showed the student partially exiting the rear passenger side before the vehicle accelerated, striking the child and leaving the scene with the door still open. So she just floored it and figured the kid was out farther enough, but she didn't. She's still cooked here, Following the preliminary investigation, deputies arrested Coleman on the abuse charge. Due to the ongoing nature of the investigation and the fact that it pertains to a juvenile, the sheriff's office said it would not release any additional details about the case. Well, Coleman was released from detention after posting bond and is going to have to go to court over this. But nevertheless, I guess the child neglect charge comes into play because she didn't check to make sure the child was safely far away from the vehicle so that she wouldn't be tangled up in it or anything like that. And also forgot to shut the door as she floored it because she's pissed that she had to bring the girl to school because the girl missed the bus and all that sort of stuff. That's my guess, but still. Way to go, Mom. Thompson, 1-year-olds want to fly. Fly. Hey, Thompson, I feel bad for this mom. Kids are so fucked up now. The boys think they are girls. The boys think they can fly. 9-year-old cannot watch a 1-year-old. World is a mess. Yeah, but she's the adult. Hotdog, how is it one charge of child neglect when there were 3 children? Shouldn't it be 3 counts? Yeah, I don't know. I guess they're just counting it to that one. Hey, she left the older one in charge. You know, just, hey, it's her. I had to go to the parking lot for, I don't know, was she smoking? Smoking something? No, that looks like a T-Moo DJ Tanner from the TV show Full House. T-Moo DJ. Nodak, Pat can fix her. I don't think he's going to want to. Did you take a gander at that? Yeah. Chattanooga. All right. Woman who declared do or die after allegedly stabbing her neighbor is in trouble again. Well, who could have seen this coming? What the hell does she have tattooed on her head? Is that her name so people remember her? I don't know. A Texas woman who was arrested in June after she allegedly stabbed her neighbor has been arrested again, this time for allegedly making new threats against a different target. Emily Lavelle, 29, was once again in custody at the McLennan County Jail after she was arrested, charged with assault on a peace officer, unlawfully carrying a weapon, making terroristic threats, and public intoxication, with 3 prior convictions. Lavelle was accused of spitting on a police officer who responded to the scene where she was allegedly threatening to kill an unnamed man. Well, Lavelle was arrested in June for allegedly stabbing a woman in the apartment complex where they both lived. The suspect was out on bond when she was arrested again. According to the arrest affidavit, police responded to a home on Tennyson Drive in Waco after receiving calls of a disturbance. When they arrived at the scene at around 8:30 p.m., officers found Lavelle lying down in the front seat of a vehicle. After police told her to get out of the vehicle, they found a pistol underneath her with a regular magazine and an extended magazine nearby. Police also found an assortment of alcoholic beverages and stated that Lavelle allegedly smelled of alcohol while they tried to detain her. Her speech was slow and irregular while speaking with her. She continued to resist officers while attempting to place her into the patrol unit. Part of her resistance allegedly included spitting on an officer. When officers questioned the man inside the home, he told them that Lavelle had allegedly threatened to kill him. Lavelle was out on bond after she was charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. During that alleged incident, Lavelle claimed self-defense after witnesses said she allegedly stabbed one of her neighbors. When police questioned her about the alleged stabbing, she told them she thought do or die upon seeing the other woman, and that she would do anything to defend herself. Lavelle allegedly told police that she would have killed that bitch if she had the chance. Yeah, see, this is the part where the lawyer tells, don't talk, but, well, okay. Well, Lavelle's still in custody at the McLennan County Jail where she's being held on $28,500 bond. Yeah, she's a bad girl. She's trouble. And of course, right off the bat, a tattoo on the forehead. That's, that's not good. At least in my humble opinion. Yeah. But who's the unnamed man? Do you think he was a potential John, and negotiations over the transaction broke down? Yeah, it could be. I don't know. But, if only there was some way to predict that she has a violent streak. Sadly, I guess the court couldn't see that coming or anything, Oh, well, that wasn't too bad, Nodak LOL, A. Thompson face tattoos. Yeah, it's just always bad. Nodak, it is probably a tattoo that says live, laugh, love. Yeah. You think that's her motto? A. Thompson, Doug, we need an episode on nose ring theory. It's probably not a theory. It's just, a universal fact, Whoops. Oh, geez. That's a telltale sign. But also a face tattoo, yeah. Although Tyson kind of turned around, But, there's always exceptions to the rule. Anyway, woman who burned dismembered homeowner and fire pit had lived in his attic for months. A 37-year-old woman in Pennsylvania is facing a possible life sentence after admitting to shooting and killing a 66-year-old man, then using a chainsaw she purchased with his money to cut him up and burn his remains in his backyard pit. Marissa Jean Rodriguez last week pled guilty, mentally ill, to a spate of felonies, including third-degree murder and abuse of a corpse, in the 2023 slaying of Michael Meisner. She seems confused in the picture, but smiling. Rodriguez had initially been facing a charge of first-degree murder, but the charge was downgraded after she reached a deal with prosecutors in the Erie County District Attorney's Office. She also pled guilty to charges of criminal mischief, possession of an instrument of a crime, well, sure, although she did purchase it with the decedent's money, so it technically isn't hers, but she did hold it. Okay. Possession of a firearm by a prohibited person, theft, tampering with evidence, and unauthorized use of a motor vehicle. A judge in January 2024 ruled that Rodriguez was mentally incompetent to stand trial. However, the judge reversed that ruling in September 2024 after finding Rodriguez fit to contribute to her own defense. Okay. The violence came to light on April 12th, 2023, after Meisner's family members, concerned they hadn't heard from him in about 2 weeks, went to his home in the 700 block of Crestview Drive in Summit Township. There was no sign of Meisner, but the family found Rodriguez in the attic where she had reportedly lived for several months before the murder. Now, I'm assuming he knew she was up there. Is this like the bad Ronald, who lived in the walls of that house? And the next day, authorities went to Meisner's home for a welfare check. In Meisner's home, investigators found a section of carpet and padding missing, possible human tissue, blood spatter, cleaning items, and bleach-stained clothing. The police also reportedly found bizarre writings on the walls of the home. In her fire pit, investigators found an eyeglass frame piece, a picture frame, carpet foam, carpet, charred human remains, and whoa, what? Yeah, that's where they really got suspicious. And burned bone fragments, later identified through DNA as Meisner's. After Rodriguez killed Meisner, she drove the victim's Cadillac STX about 40 miles to his house in New York, where police arrested Rodriguez the next day on car theft charges. She was extradited to Pennsylvania to face murder charges. During questioning, she reportedly admitted living in Meisner's attic for up to 3 months and made comments about him being dead, though she claimed not to know how he died. The victim's nephew, Adam Meisner, told Erie News Now that Meisner allowed Rodriguez to stay with him to help around the house. He was just a laid-back guy, Adam Meisner said. He was waiting to get his hips replaced, and all he was thinking about was golfing and riding his motorcycle after that. That's all he wanted to do. Authorities said they linked the suspect online searches that include the phrases Mike Meisner, how to shoot someone, how long does it take to burn a dead body, burn a body. If you shoot someone in the head, they die instantly. And finally, cutting a dead body with a chainsaw. Huh. Probably not a coincidence. In her online account, authorities allegedly found video of the suspect getting the PIN for Meisner's debit card, a photo of a .357 revolver, and photos and videos of a dead Meisner in a pool of blood with a gunshot wound to the back of the head and torso. Authorities said that the videos show the suspect wearing the black and brown shoes found in Meisner's car in New York, according to the complaint. She allegedly spent nearly $600 of his money at a Walmart on April 3rd, 2023, including the purchase of a chainsaw. During a preliminary hearing in August 2023, she reportedly interrupted testimony by saying, "Well, I'm guilty," and later saying, "Then I cut him up." Okay. Rodriguez was initially found incompetent to stand trial in January, citing court documents. A psychiatrist who diagnosed Rodriguez with schizophrenia during an exam in lockup reportedly said that Rodriguez had made comments about the Bible and how cats were her best friends. The newspaper also reported that she wrote rambling, handwritten letters to her lawyer in pencil while in custody at the Erie County Prison. "I don't know why I acted the way I did with the body," she says in one letter. "Traumatized still am." Oh, I think she meant to say traumatized. But so she's traumatized, by what she did. Well, she did do a lot, Yeah. Well, look, I know a lot about loneliness, but you can't let these whack jobs live in your home like that. Oh, well. Sure, they decided to say, hey, she's competent for trial, and they're going to allow her to represent herself. So I don't think she'll mount a good enough case to get off this one. So much for Rodriguez. Doug, we need an... Oh, yeah. Nodak, her sentence should be home arrest for life. But get this. Her home has to be the attic. I don't know. Then she's like staring out the little window at everybody. People are like, yeah, I don't like this. Hey, Thompson, they don't die instantly. The root cause of death from a gunshot wound to the head is blood loss. So, see, that's what she thought. What happened? She just wrote that in the search. That's right? See, she was competent enough to do that, huh? It's almost as if this might have been premeditated. This might actually be first-degree murder. But, she's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and all that. Hey, Dumpson, you get knocked out and bleed to death. Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. Even with a blunt force hit to the head can still kill you. Yeah, but of course, it does matter where the bullet travels. You know, parts of the brain that it just instantly shuts down. But technically, yeah, the heart can still beat for a while, stuff like that. But for all intents and purposes, you're dead. But then again, depending on where the bullet went, you know, lots of people have survived gunshot wounds to the head. So, but well, Mr. Maisner didn't. Uh, Woman abandoned baby outside dad's apartment at 2 a.m. Dared him to call CPS on her. I'm betting he did. A 26-year-old mother in Texas was arrested after she allegedly left a baby outside the father's apartment, notifying him about the infant's whereabouts with a text message and daring him to notify authorities. Ashley Marie Bailey was taken into custody and charged with one count of abandoning or endangering a child without the intent to return. Under state law, the abandoning charge is a third-degree felony, punishable by up to 10 years in prison and a maximum possible fine of $10,000. According to an arrest report, the incident took place at about 2:05 a.m. on August 20th at the University Terrace Apartments in the 1100 block Spate Avenue in Waco, Texas. The apartments are located about 100 miles south of Dallas. Officers with the Waco Police Department responded to the address after receiving a call from the father about the baby being left outside the apartment door while strapped into a car seat. Upon arriving at the scene, the baby's father spoke to officers, reportedly claiming that Bailey had left the child outside of his apartment and sent him a text message that read, "Come and get your baby. She is at the door. Bye. Talk to you tomorrow." In another text message, Bailey allegedly dared the child's father to turn her in for abandoning the baby. I don't care. Call CPS on me, she reportedly wrote, presumably referring to Child Protective Services. Get your kid, bro. He's her brother? Another message reportedly read, again, I don't care anymore. Hope you get her or someone else is going to her. So it's going to be bad. Bailey sent the initial text message notifying the father that the child was outside of the apartment at 2:04 a.m. However, the father told investigators he did not see the message for just over 40 minutes, during which time the baby was allegedly outside and unattended. In several additional messages sent that evening, Bailey was reportedly pleading with the father to open the apartment door and retrieve the child. Officers at about 3 a.m. went to Bailey's home in the 700 block of Eagles Nest Drive and placed her under arrest and transported her to the McLennan County Jail for processing. She was later released on bond. It was not immediately clear when she was scheduled to appear in court again. Authorities did not clarify Bailey's relationship to the child, and the police department did not immediately respond to a request for additional information. Well, it's not her baby? I don't understand. I mean, is it just he's the father, but she's just like the girlfriend and they broke up? That is weird. I mean, it says 26-year-old mother in the beginning of this. You don't know the relationship. Bailey's relationship to the child. So she's not the mother? Well, a lot of times these articles are badly written. They're like, well, they didn't give us additional information. You said she's the mother. I mean, what's she doing with the kid anyway? Unless she's the baby mama, you know? But I'm just going to go with that she is, because that's the only thing that really makes sense. Yeah. But if you're dropping a child off to the actual parent, you need to make damn sure the parent is home. Stupid. But then all the damning text messages and whatnot. Yeah, she's in trouble. She's not going to get 10 years, though. But the $10,000, she might have to cough that up. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, well. Nodak. Wonder if this lady also knew the lady with the tattoo on her head. Both in, it's possible. Yeah. Both in McLennan County. They probably passed each other at the jail, you know. Hey, Thompson, are the Alien comics expensive? I don't know. I haven't looked. Well, I mean, sounds like a real messed up bitch, but hey, she is the cutest of the batch that we've had tonight. You know? All right, let's see what we have here. Oh, this involves IHOP. IHOP waitress charged with customer grope. Wow. An IHOP waitress sexually harassed a female customer and rubbed the 51-year-old woman's breast, back, and arm after sitting next to her in a restaurant booth. Okay. Investigators allege that Allie Mae Wright, a 26-year-old server at a Florida IHOP, was waiting on the patron when she began to call the woman a sexy cunt and gave her a milkshake that was not ordered. Don't drink that milkshake. Wright, cops charged, would return to the table and continued to call her a sexy cunt. Wright then sat next to the victim and began to rub the victim on the back, arm, and on the outside of her right breast, and was seen resting her head on the victim's shoulder. The victim did not know the defendant and did not give her permission to touch her, said the cops, who added that the 8 p.m. incident was recorded by IHOP security cameras. Well, there you go. Wright was arrested for battery and booked into the county jail on the misdemeanor charge. She was released on $250 bond after spending a night in custody, and a judge has ordered the St. Petersburg resident to have no contact with the victim, not even on her right breast. The arrest affidavit indicates that cops detected an indication of alcohol influence with regard to Wright. It is unclear what her current employment status is with the St. Pete Bitch Pancake Purveyor. Well, this isn't like school teachers with the school teacher union and all that. So she's fired. Yeah. You can't molest the customers, and you can't be drunk on the job. Yeah. But I don't know. Is that a great pickup line? You see someone you're attracted to, and you want to break that ice and introduce yourself and hope for the best. How do I do that? Hey, I know. I'll compliment them. Hey, you're a sexy cunt. You think that would work? Well, it didn't in this case. Yeah. Hey, Thompson, 6 out of 10. She can touch me. Yeah, but you're a man. She's into the ladies. A. Thompson, the milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. Again, she's into the ladies. Well, she'll say it was just the alcohol talking. Nodak, the customer ordered the fresh berry crepes, not the grapes. Yeah. This isn't what I ordered. Hey, Thompson, IHOP is a great place. It is, but on occasion, weird things happen. But, crazy crap happens at Waffle House, McDonald's, Cracker Barrel. Lugs McGurgan, sorry I'm so late. Glad I could catch some Nailsin time. That's right, you're on Nailsin time now. So, well, it started off really bad. That was pretty gruesome, and I apologize for that one. But this one was silly. Stupid, touchy-feely broad. Well. She'll probably get another job, though. So don't worry. It'll be fine. Oh, well. Let's take a look at our legal system. Yeah, that's important. It kind of fits with the theme and narrative. Judge must face the music for allegedly obstructing Trump ICE agents as there is no basis for granting immunity. Well, they're the ICE agents of the United States. Law and crime, they got a lot of great stories, but they do not like Trump. They'll chase ridiculous stories. Please, can we impeach him again? And here, this must have really grind their gears to have to report on this ridiculous act that this idiot judge did. So, Milwaukee judge Hannah Dugan cannot claim immunity from criminal charges for allegedly obstructing ICE agents, a federal judge in Wisconsin ruled. Dugan was indicted on federal charges for allegedly impeding agents during an immigration enforcement operation and cannot escape prosecution simply because she encountered federal agents while working at the courthouse. There is no basis for granting immunity simply because some of the allegations in the indictment describe conduct that could be considered part of a judge's job, wrote U.S. District Judge Lynn Adelman in his 27-page ruling. He has a lot of pages, which was handed down Tuesday in the Eastern District of Wisconsin. In other words, they are official acts, Adelman said. Adelman, a Bill Clinton appointee, noted that Dugan argued that immunity for judges is not restricted to the civil sphere, and it protects against criminal liability for most official acts. Meanwhile, the Justice Department contends that even if a doctrine of immunity for judicial acts existed, the evidence in this case shows that Dugan went well beyond her judicial role. According to Adelman, the events surrounding Dugan's case arose from her unilateral, non-judicial, and unofficial actions outside the role of a Wisconsin state judge by obstructing a federal immigration matter over which he had no authority. Although the magistrate judge allowed that some of the allegations described conduct that could be considered part of a judge's job, she clarified that defendant was not being prosecuted for opining on the fly, managing her courtroom, or allowing someone to appear by Zoom, Adelman explained. Rather, the indictment charged specific violation of federal criminal laws. Dugan, 66, is accused of helping an illegal alien evade federal officers shortly after he appeared in her Milwaukee County Circuit courtroom on domestic abuse charges. She filed a motion in May seeking to have the federal obstruction charges dismissed, arguing that, like presidential immunity for official acts, that's nice law and crime, she benefits from broad judicial immunity because she's abroad? Well, that's not fair. Since then, prosecutors and defense attorneys filed competing arguments on whether the case should proceed. Dugan's 30-page filing on July 15th alleged she was being prosecuted for doing her job, not in the way that some federal agents preferred, true, but her job all the same. The Justice Department responded with a filing of its own, which rebuked Dugan's claims and mocked her for explaining them in a gerrymandered way, per the DOJ. Dugan's assumption of immunity wrongly inverts the analysis on a motion to dismiss charges that are properly pled in an indictment. Even in her view, criminal prosecutions of state judges are undisputedly permitted in certain circumstances. However, this does not in any way imply the creation of categories where prosecutions are forbidden in other circumstances. Adelman said in his Tuesday ruling that the dispute ultimately boils down to one thing. Dugan posits a general rule of immunity, subject to certain exceptions, which account for the previous and legitimate prosecutions of judges. According to the government, there is no general rule of immunity, and what defendant calls exceptions are simply examples of the types of prosecutions that have been brought against judges. A review of the relevant history reveals the government has the better of the argument. Dugan's lawyers have condemned her prosecution as far-fetched, while the DOJ insists she is using amorphous and contestable distinctions to prop up her arguments. In the July 15th filing, Dugan's attorneys claimed that if the case proceeded, state and federal judges would be vulnerable to prosecution by the federal executive anytime they handled a trial involving contraband and evidence or schedule a hearing in ways that inconvenience and thus arguably impede federal officers. That same month, U.S. Magistrate Judge Nancy Joseph issued a recommendation to Adelman. Joseph stated that while judges are largely immune in civil cases for official actions, no such judicial immunity exists in criminal prosecutions. Prosecutors said they believed Joseph's recommendation was correct and that Dugan's objection would not provide a sound reason to dismiss her indictment. Accepting her claim about the nature of her prosecution would require fact-finding, which is untenable on a motion to dismiss, a principle that the magistrate judge followed and to which Dugan has not objected, the DOJ said. Dugan's lawyers did not respond to requests for comment because there's no case. Let's say it's someone else helped the illegal alien escape ICE from the courthouse. Then what happens? I'm immune for whatever crimes I commit while I'm wearing my black robe in my courtroom. No, I don't think so. Okay, Luke says, it's really, wait. I've been playing Minecraft like a 10-year-old. I've got no excuse. Well, at least you fessed up about it. Luke says, it's really wild how angry people are about the laws that have existed our entire lives being enforced again. Yeah, I know. And especially when they suddenly invent certain privileges. Yeah, but not me. Luke's McGurkin, I've never heard a good argument for, yes, let them be here illegally. Not a single one. I've heard arguments for naturalizing them, but that's not what's being argued. Yeah, that's right. The actual immigration system is never argued. It's never discussed. It's either open borders or we're a fascist state. You know, that's what they do. It's very childlike and, idiotic. Luke says, you ever meet a hardcore lefty with a deep southern drawl and a trucker hat? It's a very interesting archetype. Oh, it does happen. Oh, yeah. Nodak, it's such a shame that the people that would actually be good politicians are smart enough to know not to run for politics. Well, yeah, it's just a cesspool over there. And you're not, if you're an actual decent person, you're not going to want to stay there anyway. Plus, they're going to knife you in the back so many times and get you out of there as soon as possible. Possibly even put you in prison. Hey, Thompson, I've never played Minecraft. Is it good? I don't know. I never played it either. But it's very popular. So, yeah, it must be good for somebody. Oh, well. As per usual, I do like to end on a light note. That wasn't it. But it could lighten up and become really hilarious should she get convicted, which she should. Judicial abuse has been going on. And oh, wait, I already did this story. Jeez. I am stupid. But judicial abuse of power has been going on right in everybody's face for a very long time. And unless you make examples like a case like this, it's just going to continue, you know. So I don't have to worry about nothing. I can screw with you with all my power like I want. Until it's like, oh, yeah, you can go to prison too, just like everybody else. It's the concept of equal justice under the law. See? Yeah. Okay, here we go. Woman dressed in hot dog costume busted for toilet paper caper. Drunk and angry that a neighbor parked near her yard, Marsha Morgan, 48, covered the offending vehicle with toilet paper. And aren't you supposed to do that during Halloween or something like that? Oh, well. Oh, did we mention that Morgan was dressed in a hot dog costume at the time of the 4 p.m. incident? No, but I'm glad you did. The Florida woman was busted and charged with disorderly conduct and resisting arrest. Well, maybe it's like the hot dog costume got in the way. But anyway, cops noted that Morgan was intoxicated and refused to cooperate with the investigation. On account of being intoxicated, I'm sure. Once sober, you know, she's not at her best here, but she's probably just lovely to hang around with. Well, Morgan pled no contest because what are you going to do? You're arrested in a hot dog suit to the misdemeanor counts and was adjudged guilty of the charges. Morgan was fined $550, which she can work off via community service at $13 per hour. Wow, she gets some work experience out of the deal. Sadly, police and court records offer no explanation for why Morgan was dressed as a hot dog during the toilet paper caper, which took place outside her rented St. Petersburg home. Well, good Lord, it remains a tantalizing mystery, doesn't it? I mean, does she have a job where she's one of those people who stands outside of a business, I guess a place that serves hot dogs, with a big sign, get your dogs here, chili dogs, or something like that. And then she came home tired, beat from a long day at work. And damn it all, that bitchy neighbor parked her car with the tires touching my yard. Okay, bitch, that's it. TP time. Could be that. And she was just still dressed in her uniform from work. Otherwise, what's the message here? You know, I mean, obviously she doesn't want, I don't know. I mean, she doesn't want the car to be there, but how does the hot dog suit do that? I mean, the toilet paper thing is a up yours message. Sure. But the hot dog, well, it's very intriguing, but sadly, we may never know the answer. No. Oh, well, that's it. There, see, and always end on a light note. All these horrible murders and stuff, family members killing each other. Uh, yeah. Luke says it's very, very open ended but simple. Great game to play with kids, your nephews, or friends. Slowly gathering. EV Mux kicked me off again. Why does it do that? It's over an hour, 15 minutes. Is that it? Does it do that all the time? I don't know. I paid for the premium package. Sorry, Lugs. We'll get back to it. So he says it's a great game. We play with kids and nephews and all that, slowly gathering resources and gaining technological advantage and mastery over your area while you build. See, it's kind of teaching you life lessons too, I think. Luke says, I have no good excuse for playing it by myself at early morning hours. Well, what else were you going to do? Luke says, for the amount of time I've enjoyed it, it's definitely worth the price tag. Well, there you go. Nodak, this story is the worst. Nodak, she will relish today and catch up tomorrow. A. Thompson, Evie Mux hates you. Apparently. Yes. I never did anything to it. Thompson, when you make it big, get StreamYard. Yeah, I'll look into it, but a lot of people left StreamYard because they upped their price. So, I mean, I'll compare the two if it makes no real difference. Well, that's that. Nodak, she's a real wiener. A. Thompson, what time does Alien Earth come on there? Tonight, later on tonight. I think it's like 7 p.m. or something like that. I'll just be waking up. A. Thompson, it comes out Wednesday, 7 a.m. here. Yeah, well, you don't rub my nose in it, All right, there we go. You're all set with, Nailsin News. No super tips, so we don't have to go and check those. That's unfortunate, but that's the way it goes. All right, that's over an hour, so that's pretty good. Almost an hour and 20, So there we go. Hope everyone enjoyed these lovely, well, some you really shouldn't because they were terrible. Absolutely awful. But that's the world we live in, unfortunately. So anyway, have a good rest of your day. And should be doing censored TV tonight for our Jokes Kill. And we'll see what transpires after that. So again, have a good rest of your day. Oh, there it is. I'm looking for my end theme song. Good news. I found it.
Crazy bitch news, crazy bitch news, crazy bitch news. Bitches they cray cray, she cray and she look, and that's pretty cray.